The internet, it's like our global town square, right? It's our library, our marketplace. But it's also this vast, deep wilderness, just filled with shadows and whispers. Today, we're going to explore the stories that got lost in those shadows, the internet's most compelling and, well, unsolved mysteries. So, let's begin our descent down the rabbit hole. I mean, think back to the early days, before profiles, before using your real name was even a thing. The web was a brand new frontier, a kind of digital Wild West, where you could be literally anyone. This total anonymity created the perfect environment for secrets to grow, for puzzles to be born, and for some really dark things to just fester right beneath the surface. And even though the internet has become way more regulated, more known, a lot of those early secrets are still out there. They've become the legends and the ghost stories of our digital age. So what are these enduring mysteries? Let's start our descent and find out. Okay, we'll begin at the surface level. We're talking about two of the most famous puzzles that have completely captured the imagination of millions, and even launched global communities dedicated to just cracking them. These aren't just mysteries, they're absolute legends. It all started with this, a simple image posted on the infamous 4chan board back in January 2012. Now, it looks like a piece of cryptic art, but hidden inside of it was the very first clue to one of the most elaborate and difficult puzzles the internet has ever seen. They called themselves Cicada 3301, and for 3 straight years, they released a new puzzle, each one more complex than the last. We're talking cryptography, steganography, even physical clues hidden in cities all around the world. The goal? To find the smartest minds on the planet. Who they were and why they were recruiting? Well, that remains a total mystery. And speaking of mysterious creators, let's talk about a different kind of puzzle. One with a $10 billion prize that nobody can claim. This is the estimated value of the Bitcoin wallet that belongs to the anonymous inventor of cryptocurrency, a fortune that has just been sitting there completely untouched for over a decade. The $10 billion question is, of course, who is Satoshi Nakamoto? In April 2011, after learning that a lead developer was meeting with the CIA, Satoshi sent one final message and then vanished. Forever. As you can see from the theories here, the possibilities are just fascinating. Could it be a whole group of people? A government agency? Or did the lone genius behind it all just die, taking the keys to that billion-dollar wallet to the grave? All right, now we're going to go a little deeper into the unsettling legends. This is where the line between a strange story and a real tragedy starts to get really blurry. These are the kinds of tales that stick with you long after you've closed the browser tab. Listen to this. This is a quote from a long-distance hiker named Kenny Veach. He posted on YouTube about a really bizarre discovery he made out in the Nevada desert, a cave shaped like the letter M that actually vibrated when he got near it. As he said, something about it just spooked him. And this timeline just tragically shows what happened next. So he was encouraged by commenters to go back and find the M cave. His first filmed attempt, he failed. So he set out a third time, alone, determined to find it, and was never seen again. All that was ever found was his cell phone, lying near an old mine shaft. It leaves everyone wondering, did he find the cave? And what on earth happened if he did? Some internet legends are less about a disappearance and more about just pure, uncanny creepiness. If you were online back in the mid-2000s, you probably saw this. A strange android in different outfits singing "I Feel Fantastic" in this monotone voice. It was so bizarre, it immediately sparked a very, very dark theory. The internet's hive mind basically decided this had to be the work of a serial killer. The story was that the robot Terra was wearing the clothes of his victims, and a brief shot of a garden was actually their burial plot. But this is one mystery that was actually solved. The reality? Well, Terra was an art project by an inventor named John Bergeron. It was a prototype for a singing android that just never quite took off. No martyrs, just a wonderfully weird piece of internet history. Now we move to the deepest, darkest layer. This is where those unsettling stories give way to something far more sinister. This is where online anonymity provides a cover for real-world violence and where digital mysteries have fatal consequences. So that total anonymity that fostered creativity, it also created digital spaces with basically no consequences. Platforms like 4chan were built on this whole idea of ephemeral, anonymous conversation. This culture, where posts just disappear and users have no fixed identity, has unfortunately created this niche where some of the most horrifying acts can be shared or even bragged about with a really chilling sense of detachment. This quote, "It's just chilling." It came from a user who posted photos of his victim. He told the thread he had to leave soon because her son would be home from school. This wasn't a fictional horror story. As other users watched in real time, news reports started to confirm that the murder had happened exactly as he described it. And then there's this case, which is a truly grim example of gamified violence. A user posted a photo of a missing girl promising to reveal her body's location only if another user's post number ended in a random triplicate, what they called trips. When it happened, the poster followed through, giving the exact GPS coordinates. 2 days later, the news confirmed it. The killer had crowdsourced the condition for revealing their crime. It's unbelievable. Sometimes the danger isn't as explicit as a confession. Sometimes it's far more complex and sprawling. And this brings us to Lake City Quiet Pills, which is arguably one of the oldest and deepest rabbit holes on the entire internet. It all started with the death of a longtime Reddit user. So after he died, people discovered his account was linked to this strange website with these cryptic logs. And these logs talked about jobs, payments, and a service for the deceased user. The instructions were really bizarre. Use no real names, make sure you aren't being followed. Eventually, internet sleuths connected the time and location of this supposed service to a real-life unsolved mob hit. The suggestion was that the user was part of a network of real-world mercenaries. The truth remains completely bare. So after descending through puzzles, legends, and real-life crimes, we're left with a pretty fundamental question, really. It's about our relationship with these digital shadows. What is it that drives this relentless hunt for answers? Why do we spend countless hours piecing together clues about Satoshi Nakamoto or Lake City Quiet Pills? Maybe it's a desire for order in all the chaos of the web, a need to believe that every puzzle actually has a solution and that no story is truly lost forever. We're just looking for patterns in the static. But as we've seen, not all mysteries get solved. The I Feel Fantastic video found its simple, harmless origin. But for so many others, the trail just goes cold. All that's left is the story itself, just echoing through forums and comment sections for years and years to come. A permanent, unsettling ghost in the machine.